From Arkansas's streaming news leader, this is THV 11 Morning News at 6.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us on THV 11, streaming on THV 11 Plus. I'm Karen Fuller.
I'm Hayden Balgavy. Happy morning after Election Day, everybody. Let's get to our winning ticket. Tracy Bean and Ashley King, who always have our vote every morning to make sure you got the right weather and the right traffic.
Yeah, and us you can trust. That's right.
Us you can trust.
No concession speeches needed.
Yeah, bumper stickers will be out later today.
Us you can trust.
Yes.
I like it.
We're just
with
simple,
our picture on there.
Simple and to the point.
Pretty
like
impressive.
to keep it simple.
Your campaigns were fascinating, by the way.
I know. Yeah.
You know, Al Gore could have used a team like you guys
That's
about
right.
26 years ago.
We would have made it more exciting for sure.
Except for those Chads, you know, the hanging Chad.
Oh, all right. Well, we do have things to talk about today. The traffic's pretty quiet, Ashley, before you came in, so that is good news. But we are going to start to see some severe weather rolling into the state, and that's going to continue into the weekend and even next week. Some heavy rain as well. But right now, nice shot again. It's a day after the election. Our beautiful capital, always a beautiful sight there, all lit up and nice. And we're going to start to see the sunrise, maybe? Well, the clouds are out there. We'll have to see. Maybe we'll get some of those cloud and little light shining through. Beautiful sunrises. 6:34 is what we're expecting. Don't forget about the time change on Sunday, and that sunset around 6:08. So that'll be all different for us next week. We'll all be out of sorts for sure. Now we do have this weather impact alert for this evening, 6 p.m. to midnight. Strong to severe storms are possible. Marginal flood risk. Now most of this is going to be northwest Arkansas and west of us, but we are right on the fringe of it. So again, easily could make its way into central Arkansas, and we will see some storms, that's for sure. Now making sure you're staying alert and informed, and especially in the overnight hours, make sure you have a way to receive watches and warnings. You can do on that our phone app, THV 11 app, and just it'll send it to you automatically. You just sign up for it and have a severe weather plan. Again, that is going to be key. But we're starting out all kinds of muggy this morning. So as we're heading into the afternoon, we will see those highs right around 80 degrees and a few scattered storms tomorrow as well. Another round pushing through Friday. Ashley?
Tracy, things are looking good right now. There was an accident earlier on I-40 near mile marker 153, but that is clear as of about 5:40. So things are looking better around central Arkansas. We don't have any accidents and really no slowdowns. It's too early for that. This is what it looks like on our live traffic map, and things are flowing okay. We'll get another look coming up.
Breaking news overnight, Aaron Spencer emerging victorious, securing the Republican nomination for Lonoke County Sheriff.
Spencer defeating incumbent Sheriff John Staley, who conceded in a statement posted to his social media. THV 11's Tamer Knight joins us live from Lonoke County this morning with the latest details. Good morning, Tamer.
Well, good morning, Karen and Hayden. That's right. Election officials worked overnight to finish counting votes here in Lonoke County. It was reported to our newsroom a little after 1 a.m. that Aaron Spencer had won the primary election for the county sheriff. Now, Spencer won the election with 53.5% votes over John Staley's 26.5%. Candidate David Buford fell short with 19.9% of the people's vote. Aaron Spencer first announced his candidacy back in October amid a second-degree murder trial. The race has drawn national attention because he's accused of killing a man who kidnapped his 13-year-old daughter. Spencer's jury trial is on hold until later this month, and if convicted, he would be ineligible to hold office. Deputies under John Staley helped build the case against Spencer. Now, of course, as more information becomes available, we will bring you all the latest updates to THV 11. Reporting in Lonoke County for THV 11 News, I'm Tamer Knight.
All right, Tamer, thank you for that overnight update. We appreciate it.
Governor Sanders now knows who she will face in November. State Senator Fred Love winning the Democratic gubernatorial primary. The race called just after 8 o'clock last night. State Senator Love defeating candidate Supa Zapra-Sithmaze. Love has served in the Arkansas legislature since 2011. Minutes after his victory, THV 11's Journey Taylor spoke with Love on the win and his agenda if he should represent the entire state.
When you start talking about public education, that's the entire state. When you start talking about healthcare systems, that's the entire state. When you start talking about good paying jobs for all Arkansans, that's the entire state. And that's what I bring.
Candidate Love faces a tough battle against the incumbent Republican governor at a time when Arkansas remains a deep red stronghold for the GOP. Sanders won the governor's race in 2022 with nearly 63% of the vote. She's campaigning on the conservative agenda. She is leading while in office.
Over to the U.S. Senate race. In a key Democratic primary victory, Hallie Schaffner advances to challenge Tom Cotton in November. The sixth-generation farmer and entrepreneur ran for U.S. Senate after shuttering her family's soybean and rice farm due to economic hardships. She handily defeated Louisville Mayor Ethan Dunbar. Now, at her watch party last night with fellow Democrats, Schaffner thanked supporters and touted Arkansas pride, positioning herself as the fighter against Cotton.
We sent the first woman ever to the U.S. Senate in 1932. We sent the youngest woman ever to the United States Senate in 1998. We will send the second youngest woman to the United States Senate in 2026. We are home in Arkansas. We are home to some of the most powerful companies on this planet. They didn't grow in a vacuum. They succeeded because of the grit and smarts of Arkansas workers, products of our public schools.
If elected in November, Schaffner would be Arkansas's first female senator since Blanche Lincoln left office in 2011.
The incumbent Republican Senator Tom Cotton cruised to an overwhelming victory in the Republican primary for his U.S. Senate seat.
The incumbent faced no serious opposition, securing more than 80% of the vote against two Republican challengers. Now, Cotton surprised many at the Republican Party of Arkansas's watch party, celebrating with some supporters last night. Serving as chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, Cotton is part of the Gang of Eight, as they're known in D.C. It's the group of congressional leaders briefed on the nation's most sensitive intelligence matters.
And our crew asked Cotton for his thoughts on current foreign policy and President Trump's authority on the Iran missile strikes.
I think the president has inherent constitutional authority to protect our people, our territory, our troops, and the evidence was clear. And I can tell you, as the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, the evidence was clear. Iran was preparing to retaliate against the United States no matter what happened in the Middle East, no matter whether we worked with Israel to eliminate that threat or whether Israel worked to eliminate the missile threat alone. President Trump said that today. So I think it was the responsible step to try to protect our troops and make sure that we could finally eliminate the threat that Iran's vast missile program posed to them and really posed to the entire civilized world.
Senator Cotton emphasizing the president wants a decisive, short strike over a prolonged conflict.
He does not want a long, protracted war. He wants an overwhelming use of force that hits Iran as hard as we can, as fast as we can, with as much as we can to achieve our vital national security objectives, which is the total elimination of its missile forces, which threaten our troops in the region and everywhere from Europe to the Indian Ocean, and ultimately could threaten us here in the United States as they work towards an intercontinental missile.
The senator has signaled it may take weeks of U.S. strikes, though, to dismantle Iran's missile arsenal. Jefferson County Judge Gerald Robinson has been at the center of controversy in the area politics, and now he'll have to win a runoff for a chance to continue in the role. He narrowly edged out Eric Walden for second place in the Democratic primary. Ephraim Neely got the most votes, but since it was such a close finish, Neely and Robinson now head to a runoff to determine who will be on November's ballot.
Democrat Chris Jones wins his party's primary and will challenge Congressman French Hill in November for Arkansas's 2nd District. Jones defeating Zach Huffman and is looking to build on support he saw in Pulaski County during his 2022 run for governor.
In the 2nd District, which includes Pulaski County, incumbent Republican Congressman French Hill will head to his 7th straight general election, defeating primary challenger Chase McDowell. Hill has represented the 2nd District since 2014 and has won every race with at least 51% of the vote, nearly reaching 59%. That was back in 2024.
Democrat Alex Holliday flips House District 70 in Tuesday's special election, defeating Republican Bo Renshaw in North Little Rock and Sherwood. Holliday earns nearly 60% of the vote to secure the seat. The race fills the vacancy left by former Republican Representative Carlton Wing, who resigned last year. Holliday will serve the remainder of the term through January and says he is ready to get to work at the state capitol. Now, Holliday also securing the Democratic nomination for House District 70, defeating Cordelia Smith Johnson with nearly 83% of the vote. So now he is going to advance to November in a rematch with Republican Bo Renshaw. The winner of that race will begin a new 2-year term starting in January.
Looking at the 6th Judicial District, Bobby Forrest Jr. unseats incumbent Will Jones in the race for prosecuting attorney. Forrest is a lawyer and former law enforcement officer and business owner. He says his background will guide his approach with a focus on reducing gun crime through what he calls a smart justice initiative. He takes over the prosecutor's office next January. Democrat James Russell wins the Democratic primary for U.S. House District 4, defeating Stephen O'Donnell. Russell moves on to the November election, where he'll challenge incumbent Congressman Bruce Westerman, who was uncontested in the Republican primary.
Justice Nicholas Bronny secures a full term on the Arkansas Supreme Court, defeating attorney John Adams in the nonpartisan race. Bronny was appointed to the court in 2024 by Governor Sanders and previously served as Arkansas Solicitor General. His win maintains the court's 5-2 conservative majority.
And Republican Brad Simon wins the special election for Senate District 26, defeating independent candidate Adam Watson. The seat covers Logan, Sebastian, Franklin, and Johnson counties. It was left vacant after the death of Senator Gary Stubblefield in 2025. Watson conceded to Simon overnight. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tracy Bean and the forecast to help us plan our day.
Well, it's going to be a breezy day, that's for sure. The winds haven't picked up just yet, but they will out of the south and gusting around 30 miles per hour as we're getting into the afternoon hours. We'll see a little mix of sun and clouds today and not expecting the rain just yet. We are going to see that high right around 80 degrees. Now, that severe weather threat does exist for the state, mainly looking at hail and winds being that primary threat, but we can't rule out, again, that brief tornado. Very low risk, but we need to make sure we are staying weather aware. Those rain chances, they are not going away anytime soon. We do have a flood risk for just west of the metro and northwest Arkansas, and then we're going to have another severe round coming in Friday late, and that's going to bring some heavy rain for Saturday. So keeping that in mind, this rain is not going away. We are going to get a little relief from our drought conditions. I just wish we wouldn't get all this rain at the same time, Ashley, but hopefully again tomorrow morning we may see a little rain as we're starting our commute, but hopefully we'll get through it quickly. But this morning I think things are going pretty well.